the descent here. Airspeed looks good. You're getting nice and lined up. And this time you actually kept the nose down, so that was good. A lot of times you're letting the nose pop up.
Liquid traffic, this is turning final.
This is perfect.
Liquid traffic.
So the runway lights are off as I predicted, so you can go ahead. Keep the nose. There you go, push, there you go. Yeah, just even that 3 seconds. You know, we're going 75 knots, so 3 seconds. There you go. So let's get back to landing. I think you're going to land right on the taxi or runway light, so let's go a little bit to the right. Lift your nose a little because that's 600 feet per minute. There you go. There you go. You got it. Our airspeed is perfect. You are now clear of the trees, so you can start working the power back easy. And I would say this looks good. Now we're descending too fast, so we'll just hold the nose here, take the power out. And now we're going to lift the nose about 2 or 3 degrees, and we'll just keep it coming back. And that's it. Flaps up, carb heat off, full power, and let's get this thing moving here. We're already going 50, right?
Correct.
And what's the airspeed now?
50.
Your plane, just rotate, and a little bit of right rudder. And you're all set. Just watch your pitch. There you go. So now it's definitely dusk, right? It's getting harder to see things. You might not see a deer on the runway. You might not see a tree. You might not see the nursery anymore. So now we have to find another way to mark our pattern. And that's either using the beacon. I guess if you want, there's nobody out here. If you want, you could, we could just kind of practice one using the available lights.
Alright, I'm going to start my crosswind here.
Yep.
And you said the silos, right?
Yep, so there's the silos, but pretty soon we won't be able to see the silos. So what do we got? You got this OBS I set up for you here, so we could go in a little bit here, and that'll give you a little better picture, I think.
182 is left downwind 19, park.
Yeah, this is actually, I set up the OBS on the runway heading, so you can use that if you want for some guidance. It's not going to be perfect, but it is a GPS. It's actually a very good GPS. There, now you've really anticipated 1,000 feet. You kind of undershot it that time. Okay, I would say definitely turn to your downwind. And how would you know where downwind is here? Man, you would need you'd need a spotter at night, because this would be really tough to find. I would not want to fly here at night VFR, only because it's very difficult to find this runway. Did you and I do the VOR Alpha last week, or was that somebody else I did that with?
Which VOR?
VOR Alpha from Robbinsville down to...
No, not us.
So this is how we find the airport at night. That white and green beacon flashing in the trees there.
Yeah.
If you're coming from the north or east or west, anywhere on this side of that tree line, that's pretty much all you're going to see until we get there. That was not us. That was somebody else. So this is the line that was on my iPad now, so you can use that as a guide. If we were coming in here at night, that might be all we have. This does not have it, but my GPS and my plane has a visual approach, which is really helpful for finding some place like this at night. And then beyond that, you know, the best way to find it is with an instrument approach. But now we don't have, I mean, I don't even know where the horse track is. It's out here somewhere, but I can't tell if we passed it or not. I actually just saw it, but we don't have a lot of guidance here, so let's just say we think we might have to turn. We got 16 3/4, 16 1/2, so keep some power in there, because what we don't want to do is end up in the trees at night by accident. Our descent rate's a little steeper. That's probably too shallow, so somewhere, there you go. That's it right there. And let's, are the lights still on? I can't tell. we're going to be in pretty close to the runway right now. I think the runway is going to be right down there. So go ahead and add some more flaps. This is actually good practice because I think you're going to find out in a minute that we're pretty close. So let's turn the lights on again.
I see it.
You think they're on? Yeah, I think they're on.
They're on.
So our power's a little low. You should be able to sense that. And this is where I would say let's not continue the descent too much because I can feel we're a little low and we're a little slow. So I would add some power right now because there's trees. And just keep this coordinated and step on the right rudder. This is looking really good now though. You can dump in the rest of your flaps right now. And I'd want that power in at 18 right now just because we're descending at 400 feet per minute and there's trees in front of us. So I'm going to bring you a little bit over to the right. And now we're going to put in a little left rudder, and I believe the tail and the spinner are lined up perfectly. And now I'm going to trim your nose down because I want to be pointed at the runway. I want the landing point somewhere like a third or halfway up the runway, up the windshield rather. And I believe I'm out of the trees right now, but are we sure? Are we positive? No. So I'm going to keep the nose up until I see the shadow of these trees disappear, which is right now. You can take the power out.
We're over.
Yep, we're over the trees. And now you have the plane. Let's go down toward the runway. And when we get down pretty close, we're going to start to lift the nose. Great. Let's get over to the right a little bit. Now we're going to lift the nose and a little left rudder. This will be really smooth, I think. Pretty good. And keep an eye out for deer if you can, because those guys are definitely going to be out here. Okay, your plane, I have the throttle, ready?
Right.
Rotate. And you have the yoke, and I have the throttle. Flaps up, carb heat's off, mixture's full rich, fuel's on both, and I can't see the trim wheel, but when you get a second, just have a look down there. I'm going to turn the iPad back on.
That's a little high.
Yeah, you can make an adjustment. We have a safe airspeed and a positive rate of climb right now.
Correct.
Flying to be traffic, 62862, touch and go, departure leg, closed traffic, flying W, runway 1. Okay. Yeah, some night we'll have to come out here and do some of the first leg of your night flying and get your half of your night landings done. But we'll do it after 8 or 9 o'clock. Watch your airspeed there. Just getting a little bit slow. Yeah, so the visual picture that you're used to starts to disappear.
Yeah.
And we start getting all kinds of visual illusions, roads and parking lots start looking like horizons. I've only had a couple times where I was really fooled by a row of lights or some visual illusion, but one of them was right here coming out of the clouds.
Like the traffic, this is turning left base, runway 06.
I could have sworn the row of lights I saw was the horizon, and luckily there were 2 of us in the plane. Okay, so how do we know when we should turn? We don't, right? So right now we can rely on this iPad a little bit.
Looking by this, you know.
Yeah, but that doesn't have like a good distance profile on it. This one, I got you marked out here. That orange dot is the outside of your pattern, so. At night, I wouldn't know what to tell you out here as far as flying the pattern. I consider all this night flying to be instrument flying, so if I come out here myself, I approach all these night flights as some sort of instrument flight. I'm not, if I was going to a strange airport, I certainly wouldn't be doing it visually at night.
I got the runway in sight.
Yep, so that is the rotating beacon that we see over there. It's going to be very hard to stay perfectly parallel to this thing, but you seem like you're doing a good job, and we can certainly use the iPad to keep those 2 lines equidistant.
That's the thing. You gotta trim it down. Otherwise, you feel like you gotta push too hard.
Yeah, trim it for your comfort and for the flight conditions. Okay, you got 1 notch flaps.
1 notch flap.
And you got carb heat, mixture's full rich, so. Question now is, How will we know when we should turn base?
Well, typically, I was always told before that taking lessons to wait till it's 45 to your
Yeah,
rear.
but 45 to what? What do you see?
Well, I see the end of the runway.
You see the end of the runway over there? Okay. I mean, I think I see it, but I'm not sure. I see something over there. I see a lot of blinking lights.
A little bit easier to see also with the tent today.
There you go. But if we come to a strange airport somewhere, if we just went down to Hamilton or, you know, it gets increasingly difficult at night too. And if we went to Cross Keys right now, for instance, there's no way to find that unless you're lined up on an instrument approach at night. Okay, I'm getting an obstacle warning. That's the Medford Water Tower, which is pretty far out in front of us, but we just don't want to fly into it, so we want to make sure we turn to the airport. And you're getting a little bit slow and low, so that's good. We're at 650 feet, so we want to be especially concerned about our altitude. I'm thinking your lights may have gone off while you were in the pattern. I'm not sure. Give it a shot.
See the beacon?
Yeah, so I think the runway's out here. So let's just be really careful. There is a water tower right there.
There it is.
There is a cell phone tower out in that field.
We're like 45 to it.
Yep. That's okay. This looks pretty good. So you just keep an eye. You're at 500 feet, so you know at 500 feet we've got pretty good obstacle clearance around here. We're going down to 49 feet. This looks really nice. I think we're well clear of any trees, but we are a little high, and this is a visual illusion. It looks like you're on a normal approach here, but you're still at 450 feet, and we're only...
I'm going to put the last notch of flight.
Yeah, I would definitely do that. And to be honest with you, you know, we might not be able to do a touch and go this time, but if you had to land at night,